few weeks ago, I posed a question: is it the powder or the pressure that causes a bullet to fire more consistently? It's kind of funny how some of y'all got hostile when I didn't answer the question during my last coyote hunting video. So you're probably gonna get more hostile when I don't answer the question again. But I'll pose you another question. A grain of powder is a measurement of what? If you're able to answer that question, you'll be able to answer the question, is it the powder or the pressure? Good morning, folks. Today is Friday, December the 7th, 2018, and I'm about to start a load development for this cutting edge 120 grain match tactical hunting bullet. I really want to get this burnt through a hog before the end of the year, or at least that's a goal of mine. Before getting into today's reloading video, I want to answer a question that is often popping up in the feed section below and in other places that I visit online. How important is it to start reloading for the 6.5 Creedmoor? The 6.5 Creedmoor is only 11 years old, 2007. Yeah, so that makes it 11 years old now. And in the first, let's say 7 years, it was very difficult to find ammo for the 6.5 Creedmoor. So you almost had to start reloading. But then in the last 3 years, the availability of boxed ammo, and I'm talking really good boxed ammo that's out there, it's pretty much unnecessary, especially in this last fall. I've been using nothing but boxed ammo, and every one of it has been under 1 MOA and has dropped every hog and coyote I've shot. If you have any control issues whatsoever, get into reloading, meaning you want to know that it is your fault after you pulled the trigger, that that bullet did not hit the spot that it was supposed to hit. Then get into reloading. When it comes down to the basic reloading components, figure out your budget and just go down that road. I purchased this RCBS rock chucker system several years ago for right around $200. The only area you definitely want to spend money on is when it comes down to the dies. The other things that you're going to need is a bullet puller when you goof up, measuring calipers, and a case trimmer. How do you choose what bullet to use? This all goes back down to your goals and expectations. The easiest thing to do is contact the companies and ask them, this is my goal, will your bullet meet my expectations? The other thing you could do is use this great thing called the internet and do research there. Does brass matter? This is an area I'd say you definitely get what you pay for when it comes to quality, consistency, and longevity. If you're running an LR308 or an AR-10 or any type of gas gun, definitely stick to the middle of the road to the cheaper type of brass. As you can tell, this one's been through my chamber and it's been absolutely beat up. But if you're running a quality precision bolt rifle, I would stick to the higher end brass because you're going to get a lot more precision and accuracy out of it. Let's talk about primer selection. The best piece of advice I could give you is to find a primer that is available and purchase a couple thousand rounds and you will be good to go. I would say most reloaders are never going to push their round far enough to see the difference between a Wolf primer and a Federal primer and a CCI primer. I would basically say buy a bunch of one primer and stick with it. How do you choose what powder to use? The best piece of advice I can give you is to contact the bullet company that you're trying to load for and just flat out ask them, what have you guys had the most success with? And they'll typically point you to the powder they believe is best in the beginning and end charge weights to use. When it comes to deciding the case length, I would just go with whatever your manual suggests. Here, the maximum is 1.920, minimal being 1.910. When it comes to the cartridge overall length, make sure you're using the right bullet weight section and to just go ahead and use that. Now, if you are a lands jump sensitive person, which I don't think is necessary for an AR, and your biggest issue in AR is going to be your magazine length, I've got this set back at 2.760, which is exactly 0.23 off the lands. For today's load, I'm going to be using the Hodgdon H4350 powder with the Federal number 210 large rifle primer and nodular brass. I went ahead and checked out Cutting Edge's website, and according to their information, the bullet doesn't seem to be jump sensitive, as there are more and more companies leaning that direction. But the only thing that is particular to their bullet is they want to make sure that if you're loading to magazine length, to make sure that that middle band there is not loaded any deeper than halfway down the middle of the neck. They said to go ahead and use data you're finding on published information, and check this out. This is boxed ammo from Hornady. This is the 120 grain AMAX bullet, and I'm using the same primer, 210, with hydrogen 4350 at 44.5 grain, which is their recommended starting load at 2.720. Now, if you go to my published data, here are all the bullets that are lined up here. And here's my load data: 44.2, 44.3, 44.2, 44.3, 43.4. But since this is so consistent, I'm going to go ahead and load my cutting edge bullets at 44.2 grains, and I know that's going to give me a 1 MOA. We're finally going to get into this now, and let me say that the most important tool in your arsenal when it comes to reloading is you and your ability to stick to details. Here's a quick die hack. If you don't have a precision die that has the hex key that drops the die to the exact same depth every time, just get you a Sharpie and draw a line, and you'll know if your die is off by half a turn, and it will shake out of place occasionally if you're not careful, so just keep it in that spot. And the other thing that I would say is go ahead and write indication line up here, because I know for a fact, depending on the ogive of the bullet that I'm using, that a turn that far is 1/1000th of an inch, and that far is about 1/10 of an inch. So it helps you in seating your depth, especially if you're super anal and a control freak. To crimp or not to crimp? That is the question. I can tell you for the 3 years that I've been loading for the 6.5 Creedmoor gas gun, I've never had any issues with accuracy or the bullet moving around, so I don't crimp.
Because of other zeros that I have, I'm going to set this to -1 and 18. Picture in picture. Sweet. Alright, first shot. If it hits it, I'm just going to leave it. Let's go check it out.
That, my friend, was a great guess on the zero. We're good to go. Since it only took me 1 round to sight in this bullet, I had 5 cutting-edge bullets left to test on a hog. I loaded up my 6.5 Creedmoor, and 5 minutes later, this deer came rolling in. And they say deer hunting's hard.
There's something feeding at about 300 yards behind an old hog pen. The way it's moving kind of looks like a hog. But if that's a hog, that's a big one. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a solo bore. Problem is, this is all money. I'm not sure I want to trek down there.
This hog came out early. There are a ton of deer on this property, so I wasn't confident that this was a hog, and we'll pick up the action from here.
Uh-oh, I gotta put another round in him. Yeah, hold on. Crap. There it is. This is why I'm not a fan of match bullets. That should do it.
Look at the bloody mess. Pretty good shot. Oops. You'll shoot your eye out. You'll shoot your eye. All right, let's do a neocropsy on this thing. I gotta get out of the mud. So I put 4 shots on this hog. And this is definitely the initial one here. So this is the only one that I'm really interested in and seeing how well it expanded. I want to see at least 4 other shots on this thing. Okay, that's definitely an exit wound. You can just tell by the way the dimple is. Let's see, so that's 2. 1, 2. Okay, one of these has to be the exit. Okay, so at least there's 1, 2. I'm gonna guess that one is the exit. 3 and 4. 4 shots. Maybe there's 2 of them up here. Yeah, so I'm gonna really just cut up in here and see what it looks like. This has got to be a good. I'll get some tape on it, but he's easily got to be in the 200 class range. So sometimes when you hit the hogs high up in this area up here, like this, it gets into that soft fatty material. But what you really need the bullet to do is, upon impact, is really do that hydrostatic shock where it blows through there. So I'll take a look and see what happened here. Look how fatty that is. That's a winter hog for you right there. That's a good 1.5 inches worth of fat. All right, here we go. Here's the neck. Oh, wow. Okay. That's not too bad. That's actually really good. So this is what I'm seeing. Look at that damage. I don't know if that's the first bullet or the second or third, but it definitely removed that whole top section. What surprised me is it didn't shatter the spine. If it hits that spine there, the hog will drop instantly. But it didn't happen. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to take a girth measurement now that I've chopped them all up. But Nice pig down.
I hope you've enjoyed this full development, test, and review of this cutting-edge 120 grain match tactical hunting bullet. Leave any questions or comments below. I am close to reaching 10,000 followers by the end of the year, so please like, subscribe, and share this videos with others interested in the cutting-edge bullets, hog hunting, or the 6.5 Creedmoor. And guess what, folks? I've got a new thermal scope to test thanks to Night Vision Outfitters, so stay tuned for my next adventure.